Hey there, rock stars! Sarah Rockin' Robbins here, author of the bestseller Rock Your Network Marketing Business. Who's read it? Comment below. And creator of the CD series, the Rockstar Recruiting School, and the Masterclass Edition, all of which you can find on my website at sarahrobbins.com. You know, I'm thrilled to be here with you each and every week, sharing with you top tips on how to rock your network marketing business. Today's topic is near and dear to my heart because it is power prospecting tips. I have been a top recruiter in my company every single year over the past 10 years. So whether you are new and just getting started, or perhaps like me, you've been in your business for a decade or more, and you feel like the well's kind of running dry, if you're wanting to know how to keep this fresh and fun, and of course, super exciting, then I want you to tune in to today's training. And don't forget to share it or comment below to tag your team in it as well. After all, prospecting and networking, it's what we do for a living. So it's what we have to do to make it a part of our life and our lifestyle. Now, I'm a formerly shy kindergarten teacher. A lot of you have read my story in my book. And I talked to you about how I was really afraid to talk to new people. You know, I remember approaching somebody for the first time at a cosmetic stand. My hands were shaking, my knees were knocking. For the first time in my life, I saw stars. I remember, doing the network marketing verbal vomit all over that person, them looking at me like a deer in headlights, and me going to my car and calling my mom and crying and saying, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to be successful in this business of networking if I am afraid to talk to people? Here's the good news, guys. No matter how scared you are, you won't die. I have yet to die doing this business, right? The more you practice, the better you get. And guys, these top tips, I believe, will really help you to rock your prospecting. And they're things that are fun and fresh, and you can implement them really right away. First and foremost, we're coming out of chapter 5. I've highlighted it up and written myself notes. See, I even learned from myself a bit and revisit this from time to time. I suggest that you do as well. Take the pressure off, okay? This is really important that you take the pressure off while you're prospecting. Give this analogy. It's much like, a waiter or waitress pouring a cup of coffee. Some say yes and some say no. Now, when somebody says no to the coffee, does the waitress stop pouring and start crying? Of course not. What do they keep doing? They keep pouring a cup of coffee to everybody in the restaurant, okay? So take the pressure off. They're not saying no and rejecting you. Sometimes it's no, not now. I don't know enough. And no doesn't mean no forever. It could just mean no for right now, right? Here's the thing. I give this analogy a lot. I'm a former kindergarten teacher. Say that I were to go in front of a room of 200 people, and I've done this example before, and I say to all 200 people, I've got a job teaching kindergarten, and it starts tomorrow. Who wants to take the job? Typically, it's 2 or 3 people that kind of they raise their hands. And what does that mean to everybody else in the room? They think that the teaching profession is dumb, or they think that I'm dumb. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. But here's the thing. It's not personal rejection. It's personal preference. Starting a business, owning your own business, is not for everyone either. So don't take it personal. It's not personal rejection, it's personal preference. But here's the good news. If you start sharing, if you start prospecting for new customers, new distributors, everyone can plug into your business. You might be like, wait a minute, you just said it's not for everyone. So how can everybody plug in? Easy. I talk about how everybody can be one of the 3 C's. They can be a customer and use your products and experience transformative results. They could be a consultant or a distributor and change their life through the time freedom, the financial freedom, the friendships, the personal, the professional growth. Or they could be a connector. If at the very least they know what you do, they can connect you to somebody. But how do you expect those referrals if you're not sharing? You have not if you ask not. So again, the 3 C's, they can be a customer, they could be a consultant, or some people call them a distributor, or they could be a connector. They could be a referral source for you. I share the story of my sister Emily Yost, who, by the way, just today, she's cleaning out her classroom because she officially gave her resignation. She, in a very short period of time, through network marketing, through her profession, was able to retire and now be at home with her 6-month-old son. She desired to do for him what she did for so many other kids. But guess what, guys? She said no to me for 10 years. 10 years, you guys. Can you believe it? She saw my success in the profession, my mom's success, and she said no. No didn't mean no forever. It meant no, not now, or I didn't know enough. In her case, it was no, not now. She loved teaching, but her timing changed when she looked at her little boy and she said, wait a minute, I've got to do this for him. And again, that was her personal preference, her personal choice. She called me up. I didn't have to recruit her, and she said, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do this. And in a very short period of time, in 5 months, she promoted to the top of our pay plan, earned 2 trips, and was just recently able to retire, to resign from teaching. So guys, personal rejection? No. I mean, think about that. That's my own sister. 10 years later. But for the longest time, my sister was a referral source for me. I told her what I did. I asked her for referrals, and I paid her accordingly. I created my own referral reward program, and I talk about how to do that in my book. And I said, I'm willing to give you some free products as a kind of a finder's fee, or a portion of my cash bonus, your pick. She started posting things on social media for me. Posted something one day, found one of my top leaders who I was working out with at a gym, who is now in qualification for her company car, one of the top 10 leaders on my team. And I think that was like a $50 referral. So tell both of the girls, or Emily, my sister Emily, and then the leader Emily, I always say that was the best $50 I ever spent. And I ended up making one of my very great friends as well. So here's the thing, my sister, right? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. She should have recruited Emily. She should have joined me 10 years ago. But again, timing wasn't right. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to keep your funnel full today. And remember that if everyone knows what you do, they can at least connect through being a customer, a consultant, or being a connector for you. Like my sister was for me, they can spread the news. And when their timing changes, then they can join you too. Okay, so here's a goal. 5 a day keeps leads coming your way. 5 new reach outs every day keeps leads coming your way. Now, this does not mean calling Aunt Sue over and over and over and over and over again, okay? This means 5 fresh new people every single day to keep leads coming your way. Now, some of you are like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to disconnect. Don't disconnect. Stick in there. You're thinking, how do I do this, right? I know that's what you're thinking. My job today is to teach you how. By the way, don't mind. I'm getting over this little sinus thing. I'm like loaded up on echinacea and elderberry and all of those fun and amazing things. And so good news is I'm not contagious through the screen. So you've got no choice but to stay here with me. You ready? Okay, I'm just joking with you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about where to find people. I'm going to go through the top 10 points in my book. Who's read it? What have you learned from it? Who needs to go back and revisit it? All right, here we go. First and foremost, for those of you who already have customers in your business, what are you waiting for? Reach out to your customers. Your customers are your best brand ambassadors. Why wouldn't they want your products at a discount, at the best possible price? And the ability to earn them for free is they simply share the results with other people. I just gave you some great language. You might need to stop this, rewind this, play it again. But have you reached out to your customers and said, I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you before, but as a distributor of the products, I get them at a really great discount. Again, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but as a distributor of the products, I get them at a really great discount. Can I share with you more about this program? I'm sure you're loving your results, etc. We talked about on last our last blog, which you can find at sarahrobbins.com or by scrolling down on our Facebook page, we talked about how to do basically a monthly, newsletter or offer or etc. And it's a really good excuse to reach out to your customers on a monthly basis. So in the beginning of every month, I'm always reaching out to my customers anyway, saying, how are you loving your products? What are you out of? Can I make a recommendation to you this month? This way, my customers are taking orders every single month. But at the end of every conversation, it's always, oh, by the way, not sure if I've mentioned this to you or mentioned this to you recently. As a distributor of the products, I get them at the best possible discount. If you're loving them and getting great results, I'd love to get you this discount too. And who knows, if you start simply sharing your results with other people, it's a great way that you can earn them for free or a little extra money as well by simply making a recommendation. Can I share with you more about that program? Guys, we have numerous people on our team who have joined because they were customers first. So always revisit them from time to time and check out that last week's training as well. Okay, so that's the first one. I give you language here as well. The second one is revisit past prospects or even former business builders. Maybe they're not in the business anymore. And tell them why the time is now. Guys, there's always new things that are launching in our company. So there's always good reason to reach back out again. And if there's not a good reason, which by the way, good reasons are a new product launch, a new program launching, timing or news within your company or your team. And if you don't have a reason to reach out, you make a reason to reach out. These are the things that you're featuring in your monthly newsletter that you're making and you're putting out to your friends, your family, your customers, your prospects, even previous prospects. Never take people off your list, but reach out and tell them why the time is now. If you've got a special going on, hey, I know the timing wasn't right before, but if ever there's a time to take another look, the time is now. Your timing couldn't be better to join company X, Y, or Z, or to try products X, Y, and Z. What's new and exciting? And by the way, we talked about this last time together. We talked about this on my last blog. It's not enough to put it in a newsletter and to post it on social media. Those are just excuses for you to pick up the phone and follow up and say, here's the language. As a courtesy to you, I'm reaching out to make sure you saw our last special. I know you were thinking about joining before, and I know the timing wasn't right, but if ever there's a time to take another look, the time is now. If ever there's a time to buy that product, the time is now. We're running a special on it today only, whatever the case may be. So use that as an excuse and drip on people, okay? The third thing is going through your contacts. Guys, if you're brand new especially, if you've been doing this for a while, I want to challenge you to go through, and I'm going to leave you with the challenge at the end, by the way, so stay on until the very end. I want you to go through your phone A through Z, your Facebook A through Z, and challenge yourself and say, have I really reached out to all of these people? Have I asked them for referrals? Have I created my own referral rewards program? Have I asked them who they know that the business would be great for? Who do you know that the products would be great for? Go through your phone. Go through your Facebook. If your company has a memory jogger, go through that as well. I'll post one today on the blog at sarahrobbins.com. Just ideas and ways that you can reach out to new people. When I start somebody new, I give them a challenge to write down 200 names. Why 200? The average funeral has 200 people at it. The question is not, do we know people? It's, are we willing to reach out to them? And I love what my friend Barbie Bassett says. Your willing to has to be greater than your wanting to. Your willing to has to be greater than your wanting to. When people say, oh, I don't want to bug my friends, you're not bugging them unless you're bugging them. It is all about your approach. I don't bug people. I share something that I believe people have a need for, whether it's the products to provide transformative results or my opportunity to give them time and financial freedom. I view this as a gift. And if it's not for them, again, who do you know that this would be great for? Start using that approach. But I teach you about really how to excite and invite and leverage third-party validation to provide that social proof. Once you get them a little bit excited, invite them to hear more. Whether it's a call, a meeting, an event, etc. Okay, that was number 3. Number 4, lifestyle networking. Now, if you're like me and you're super shy and you're thinking, oh my God, I would rather die than go up and approach a stranger, I want to give you a $1 million tip that was a total game changer for me. I shared with you in the beginning how I used to be so shy and so afraid to approach people that I literally walked up to that cosmetics counter and I thought I was dying. Now, the great news is I have yet to die doing the business, right? Okay, I'm gonna live a long life, I declare, and impart wisdom into my son at a ripe old age. Okay, so I say all of that jokingly, right, that I've yet to die doing the business. The whole reason why I say that, guys, is truly, what's the worst that's gonna happen? They're gonna say no, and remember, it's personal preference, not personal rejection. But I made a shift in my mindset that totally changed lifestyle networking for me. Do you want to know what it is? Do you want to know? I used to go and make it all about me. Oh my gosh, I've got to tell this person about my business. I've got to tell this person about my products. Therefore, because it was so personal, it was so about me, it was never about them. It became personal. The rejection became personal because it was all about me. But when I made a shift, and I remember this acronym, TINY, their interest, not yours, it changed everything. I also made a shift. Instead of making it all about me and my conversation and my motives, I started to think, what if I made my goal just all about making new friends for a season? Anybody else been there before? Okay. So here's the thing. I share with you on the section on lifestyle prospecting in the chapter, Power Prospecting, about how to make it all about them and about making new friends. $1 million tip for you. Give compliments and ask questions. The number one thing people like to talk about is themselves. And it is so easy to ask questions. And therefore, it is so easy for them to talk about themselves. So if you start with a compliment like, oh, cute bag, and flip it to a question, where did you get it? Oh, your kids are adorable. Compliment, question, how old are they? Oh, I love your shoes. Question, where are they from? And you start engaging in conversation. Good conversation is always connected to a lot of questions. What if your business never comes up in conversation? That's okay. Here's your $1 million tip. You pull out your smartphone. After you're done talking and sweating, right? If you're like me, I'm like dying sweating, like, woo! I just sweat when I'm normally in conversation because I'm just more, reserved by nature. I'm not outgoing, okay? People are like, then why are you doing these? It's easy to sit behind a camera than going and talking in front of a room full of people. The $1 million tip, you pull out your smartphone and you say, are you on Facebook? I would love to stay in touch. I've loved talking with you today. Add them as a friend on Facebook. Then they become a part of your virtual audience. They eventually see what you're doing, but you have the opportunity to follow back up, to stay in touch and say, it was so great meeting you earlier today. Earlier you mentioned you were from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I happen to have a business that's building there. I would love to share it with you. Pick your brains on just ideas and ways to grow it in Ann Arbor. Would you have a few minutes where we could reconnect? Now, here's another $1 million tip for you. If you're out and about and your company has samples, take one of your business cards, staple it to a sample. Sometimes it feels better when we can leave people with something too. I've loved meeting you today and wanted to leave you with this little gift. Tell them what it is and what it does. If you promise me that you'll use it, I promise you that I'll stay in touch and follow up. You're going to love it. Here it is. And get their contact information or add them on Facebook. Remember, a sample without a name is money down the drain. I'm going to say it again. A sample without a name is money down the drain. You have to follow up. Okay, so that was lifestyle networking. Tip number 5. Tip number 5, parties or virtual parties. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not a party plan company. Guess what? My company's not a party plan company either. But I kept thinking when I started, what is the greatest way to get in front of a lot of people in a little bit of time? It's events. I started with a full-time job. My husband had a full-time business. I was working that. I mean, I was the definition of busy. But I thought, if I only have an hour to dedicate to this, I'd rather be in front of 10 people than just talking to one person any day. So I started doing events, and I didn't have any hostess incentive program. Again, it's not a party plan company, but I did a January, New Year, New You, February, Love the Skin You're In, March is the March month of luck, so I did an appreciation event. I'm so lucky to have you as a friend, family, or customer in my life. You name it, I did it. But then I started telling people, invite friends, invite friends, invite friends. And I even did a raffle. If they invited a friend, they got entered to win a prize basket of some sort. This way it kept putting me in front of new people, and the changing of themes kept putting me in front of new people. Eventually, it's like everybody wanted to be invited to my parties because they knew that they were going to be a blast. I remember doing one in February. It was super fun. Skincare company. So we did fondue and facials. And the funny story of that was I didn't know. I used this little crock pot and turned it on a low, I thought I turned it on a low setting. I didn't. Put the wet washcloths in there because we're going to steam off the little mask. Whoops, had it on the high setting, burnt all the washcloths. Lesson learned there. But anyways, really had some great events. Now my team started implementing on a monthly basis virtual events too. We call them virtual beauty bashes, where we just do giveaways, no purchase necessary, and a chance for them to learn about our company and about our products. If you want to know how to do virtual events, go to my blog at sarahrobbins.com, click on blog, and in the little search bar, just type in virtual event or Facebook event, and it will teach you exactly how we're doing these. It was the number one thing I implemented in my business last year. So events are a great way to power prospect as well. Okay, that was, oh, by the way, you can ask people to host events for you. I almost forgot one of my own tips. What about reaching out to people and saying, you know, my business is expanding in your area. I would love to reach more people. Would you be willing to host an event for me in exchange for free product or my discount on the product that perhaps you can fulfill through your monthly auto ship? Right? Reinvest in your business to get in front of a totally new network. But then when they see all these people joining and purchasing, you can say, okay, are these people going to join under you or are they going to join under me? You should sign up now. People are asking where to get my book. You can get it on Amazon. You can also buy in bulk quantity, so get great discounts for team gifts at sarahrobbins.com. Okay. Next up, social media. Tip number 6 on power prospecting, social media. As network marketing professionals, we are paid storytellers. Social media is not about selling. If you sell, you're going to get unfriended. It is about sharing. So how do you share the story of your products or your opportunity? Well, for my products, I showcase before and after pictures. I share testimonials. I share places we've been in the press. For the business, I don't say join my team, join my team, join my team. I showcase success stories of people who are building it part-time that perhaps other people can relate to as well. When I shared my sister's story that I talked about earlier, I had tons of teachers reaching out to me. Oh man, I'd love something to do in the summer months. Now that school stopped, guys, teachers are always, take it from a former teacher, they're always looking for a way to supplement their income. Okay, hence the reason that I believe teachers do so well at this business. This is a people business. It's all about duplication, keeping things simple, teaching and training, okay? So if you want a really great social media training, I do one for an hour that's totally free, no strings attached. Google Sarah Robbins Social Media Summit. There's a part 1, which is all Facebook. Part 2 is all the other sites. In fact, if somebody has a link to my YouTube, Sarah Robbins Social Media Summit, would you just quickly Google it and post it in the comments below? That would be so incredibly helpful. But I teach you how to leverage social media by sharing stories. That is my number one way that I generate leads. Again, I'm a top recruiter in my company every year for 10 years. It is the number one way I generate leads, and it's all about telling stories. At this point in my business, I don't have to recruit anybody. People are recruiting me. That is the power, my friend, of social media. We're living in a social world, guys. You either get with the program or you get passed up. I mean, guys, in this constantly changing social world, you can either put it in the that's too hard box, or you can accept the challenge and say, in order to remain relevant, I have to put time into my personal growth or my professional growth. Watch that training. It's going to really help you with your power prospecting as well. All right, that was number 6. Number 7, join networking groups. Plug into those networking events. My first networking event, I thought I was going to die. I was sweating out of every hole and crevice in my body, and I went alone, and it was literally, I was so scared. But here's what I love about networking events and networking groups. These people are trained to help you not only give, they give referrals, but they help you to get referrals. But guys, here's the thing. It's not I'm going to go in and just, get millions of leads. You have to invest time. You have to build relationships and friendships. And I will say, network with people that are in the business of networking. That doesn't mean just network marketing, because guys, if they are in network marketing, your goal should not be to recruit them into another company. That's just not the way to do things, guys. If your friend's in another company, woohoo, rising tide lifts all ships, cheer them on. Don't try to recruit them out of something that they love. Encourage them in what they're in. There's plenty of people in this world, okay? Network with other people who are networking. So what do I mean? Not network marketing. Good example. I have this friend, Kathleen. She was in a cookie business. She reached out to me and found a commonality and said, hey, we both got this cool color blue. I used to have it on my team site, teamrockandrobbins.com. I used to have this cool blue color, but since then I redid my website. She said, oh my gosh, Kathleen's cookies. I've got the same blue color. I would love to, connect and meet other business owners in the area, see how we can help to build one another's businesses. Think about how smart. Are there other business owners that you could literally find a commonality, whether it's their business card, the look of their website, the area of work that they're in, the area of town that they live in, that you could simply say, I'm looking to connect with other people in the area, other small business owners in the area, to help one another brainstorm and build one another's business. That's what Kathleen did with me. She said, let's meet for coffee. I was like, awesome. We sat down, I said, Kathleen, tell me all about your business, what you do and what you're looking for. And I listened. Then she said, Sarah, tell me all about you, your business, what it is that you do and what you're looking for. And she listened. Here's the cool part of the story. She ended up joining my business. Yay! We ended up doing some really cool work events, by the way, at our cookie shop, which was fun. So we both ended up benefiting. But couldn't you think of other entrepreneurs to be reaching out to as well? It's as simple as finding a commonality, striking up a conversation, meeting for coffee and saying, tell me about you and what it is you do, and listening, and then say, let me tell you about me, what it is that I do and what it is I'm looking for. How can we help one another? And you know what? If she's not like Kathleen, she doesn't join you, but she says, you know what? I'll keep it in mind for some great referrals, and you keep her in mind for great referrals, and you make new friends and you expand your network. Isn't that how this business starts? Isn't it what it's all about? It is. Okay. So that was networking. Number 7. Number 8 is events. Okay, if you're like me and you would rather be a hermit, trust me, if I had a choice, isn't that funny? We're in a business of networking. If I had a choice to sit inside and to read a book, or to just, I don't know, have a snack. I am such a little introvert. I just love my little routine, and I love being at home with my son, and I love hanging with my husband, and it's like those few friends or my family that I'm super, super comfortable with. But other than that, it's I have to take the deep breath when I'm invited to other things. And it's not that I don't love people, but it's being challenged with making small talk. Does anybody else just feel small talk? Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? It's so funny. But now when I go to events, when I'm invited, I go because number 1, you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who people are going to lead you to, but you just never know. I mean, you never know where these conversations are going to lead. But here's the thing, guys. Ultimately, it helps you get better at your skills of networking. So if you're invited, you guys, go. And again, don't go to, try and recruit people. That's kind of tacky. I talk about language here. You can see we're here to enjoy the party tonight. I would love to tell you more about what I do, but let's exchange contact information. Let's do that later. Okay? You don't want to be never invited back to your friend's party. All right? All right, that's number 8. Number 9, people who provide you services. Who have you been doing business with for years? Your hairdresser, your massage therapist. I mean, who are you paying for services that you can say, I've been doing business with you for years. Now it's your turn to hear about my business. Would love to share it with you. Get some ideas, get some pointers, see if you have any good referrals for me. What about people who give you good service every single day? Like a cashier, a bank teller, a waiter, or a waitress. I'm thinking, just even somebody who works at the department store. When I didn't have somebody to prospect for my business that day, I'd go to the mall. And I wouldn't buy something, I'd just go browse at the cosmetic counter. Who can you say, thank you for your great service today? We're looking for people like you for our business. I'm going to say it again. Thank you for your great service today. How many people actually get paid compliments? Thank you for your great service today. We're looking for people for our business. Well, what do you do? And then, open door to conversation. Are you leaving your income options open? I love, during the holidays especially to say, are you seasonal? Do you love what you do? Are you doing this to bring in some extra money? Would you be open to additional income earning opportunities and exchange information? Number 10, travel. You guys are traveling this summer. If you're sitting next to the person on the plane, don't be like me, introvert, put your earplugs in. No. Have you thought about, not being annoying and talking to them the whole time? That's kind of annoying, right? Or your neck starts hurting. But have you thought about, as you sit down or as you leave, it was great talking to you today. What are you traveling to Texas for? And when they ask you, oh, my business is expanding there. Oh, really? What is it that you do? It's not my such and such business is building there. And then they're like, your network marketing shut down. Oh, I've got a new business. It's opening up in Austin, Texas. I'm very excited about it. Pause. Well, naturally, they're going to say, well, what do you do? By the way, guys, when people used to ask me what I did when I was a teacher, I would say I'm a teacher, but my passion is my new business. And that's all I would say. And then they'd say, what is it? I'm a teacher, but my passion is my new business. So always exchange information when traveling and following up. Guys, those are 10 top tips from my book. I want to leave you with a little challenge and then a story that's going to teach you a huge lesson, my $50 million mistake. My challenge for you and your team this week, by the way, comment below and tag them or share this. If you have a team page, share this right to your team page and start a discussion on it. My challenge for you and your team this month, for the rest of this month, who's ready to take the challenge, is to reach out to 200 people. I don't care if you've been doing this 10 years like me, or if you're brand new in the business. I want you to leverage these tips, okay? So remember, we're going to go through Facebook, A through Z. We're going to go through our phones, A through Z. We're going to revisit our customers. We're going to create a reason to reach back around, create our drip list, our newsletter campaign, or post on Facebook, or a reason for reaching out. We're going to bring our business cards and samples go, lifestyle networking. We're going to put one live event on the calendar, one virtual event on the calendar. We're going to start doing a post a day to keep leads coming our way. You're going to watch the social media training that I talked about. You're going to join a networking group. You're going to say yes to those summertime events, even if you feel like you're going to die. You won't. You're going to reach out to people who you've done business with or even other entrepreneurs in the area. You're going to make this top of mind and reach out to 200 new people. Can you imagine if you did just that? I guarantee you that your funnel would be so full, and it's inevitable that you would end up with new customers, contacts, consultants as well. Here's a quick story for you. Guys, proof that you never know what people will do. You never know who they're going to lead you to, and why you always choose that faith over fear. There was a woman named Stacy Roney, and I talk about her in my book, that my mom and I worked for many years, and I always looked up to her. She owned several successful businesses in Chicago. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, she would be amazing. I should tell her all about this. If you think somebody's amazing, somebody else does too. Someone else will contact them. Why not now? Why not you? In this case, I kept thinking, she'll see it on my Facebook. Big mistake. Rose Gala Rojas out of Chicago beat me to it and reached out and said, she used this approach. Write this language down. This approach is so brilliant. It's recruiting without recruiting. You're never recruiting the person, but you're generating their interest. So she said, Stacy, I know you've built a great network in Chicago, wherever they live. I know you've built a great network in Chicago. I have a business that's expanding there. This may or may not be for you, but I'm hoping that I could share it with you to pick your brain and get ideas of ways to grow it there. Can I meet you for coffee, my treat? And again, I'm going to share this with you again. Stacy, I know you've built a great network in Chicago. I have a business that's building there. May or may not be for you, but I'm hoping I can share it with you. So I could pick your brain a bit and get ideas on how to grow it. Can I meet you for coffee, my treat? Stacy says, sure. She comes with a list of hundreds of names that she's ready to give to Rose for referrals. And now keep in mind, Rose has a captive audience. She sits Stacy down and says, let me tell you about what I'm doing. Let me tell you who I'm looking for. She tells her the whole story. And then at the end, she says, here's what I'm looking for. People to try the products, get great skin, people to join our fun and fast-growing team. Who do you know this would be great for? And Stacy said, me. Like, I'm kind of offended you didn't ask me. How do I learn about it? And Rose says, come to this meeting that we're doing tonight in Chicago or whenever in Chicago. Guess who the guest speaker was? Yours truly. In walked Stacy and my stomach and my jaw hit the ground. And I kept thinking, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Stacy joined that night, was the #1 recruiter in our company that year. You've heard the story of my $50 million woman in this book. You can also find it. If you opt in, by the way, sarahrobbins.com, I have totally generic newsletters that are not about my company. They're just about network marketing training. You should get on that list, even if you're on my team. sarahrobbins.com. And when you opt in, it gives you the story, basically, of the $50 million woman. This is a different story. But this one is my $50 million mistake. You never know what people will do. You never know who they'll lead you to. If you think somebody's great, somebody else does too. Why not contact them? Why not now? Why not you? Guys, don't delay. Start today. These top 10 tips will help to keep leads coming your way. Guys, I hope you loved today's training from my book. Make sure you share it with your teams by tagging them below or sharing this on your team pages. I'm going to post more info on this topic later today on the blog at sarahrobbins.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. God bless, and goodbye for now. Rock on, rock stars.